fellow travelers. Welcome on in. This is the 143rd level of the RPG Cave. I'm one of your hosts, the level 199 human Dark Lord, Ryan Turford, and I am joined, as always, by the level 199 elf battle alchemist, Dr. Garret Bland. How's it going, Garret?
I'm doing good, man. It's a different time of day, different setting.
Yeah.
It's like a refresher. It's like, in a RPG, day and night cycle right here, folks, in real time.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, both of us are doing our best to try and stay awake. It is a little bit early in the morning for people who are listening in the future, audio listeners. It is currently 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or for Garret, it's very early. It's like 8 in the morning.
Yeah, 8. I normally wake up, during the week, I normally wake up around 7:30. So it's fine.
Yeah.
I got my coffee in.
Exactly.
As long as I get my coffee in the morning, I'm good to go until 3 o'clock where I take a nap.
Yeah. And also for people who are watching the video right now and wondering, Ryan, what the heck is going on? Why are you in a different place? I'm doing the Final Fantasy stream later. And I'm in my comfy chair, Garret, because I, of course, am doing 7 straight days of streaming for like 8 hours a day.
It looks like a comfy chair to me, so hopefully.
Yeah. I'm just like, I could do this at my desk, but this is currently my battle station for the weekend. We'll be doing the PlayStation drive for this position tomorrow night as well. So
you got to make sure that back and butt is comfortable for 6 hours straight. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, my computer chair is nice, but it's like it would be tough to do that for that period of time in that particular chair. But also, real quick before we get to Garrett's, Garrett's 3 things, I also wanted to apologize because we did want to have this show on Monday, of course, our usual time. But we did have to delay the show this week. So apologies again for the delay.
Blame Ryan. Just blame him
this week.
all the time.
You can blame me because this time it actually was my fault. I had to work late Monday night because we were covering some news at work. And it just, became much later than it was supposed to. So as a result, we had to do the show a bit later this week. So apologies for that. So just wanted to throw that out there as well. But Garret, go ahead because I see you have 3 things here.
I have 3 things. So one thing, I have a vet story.
Oh, no.
Veterinarian. We had to take our dog to the vet. Kind of a annual checkup or whatever. We went to a new vet, kind of around the area. We come into the vet for an appointment, and they took a look at everything. Everything seemed to be fine. Tried to look at the teeth, and it's very hard to get into my dog's teeth. She doesn't like it at all. He just doesn't want to mess with it. So after like a few minutes of struggling, we found something. It looked like a cracked tooth, like in a way. And the doctor's like, "Oh, we got to come in and do like a dental cleaning." And so they gave us a quote for like dental cleaning for a dog. I don't know if you know anything about tooth extraction, root canal, but
I know that for humans, but not for pets.
Yeah, it's a thing. They have to go in full anesthesia because dogs don't like it when you go full on in their mouth.
Yeah.
It is expensive. It's like $2,000 to $4,000 quotes easily.
Crap.
Yeah. A couple days later, we noticed when we were looking at her teeth, the black stuff, the cracked tooth, it was gone. And we noticed it was just food stuck in her mouth.
Oh my God.
So we went back to the vet and it's like, hey, reevaluate her. I know it's a struggle to get in her mouth, but it's not there. And then so they took a look, took 3 minutes. And like, yeah, she's fine. You don't need to come in and do a $2,000 to $4,000.
Thank God for that. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's kind of insane. So, guys, be careful out there. With your pets. Pet insurance is I know it can be a hassle. It can be a fee, but whatever happens to your pet, it can be super expensive. So, yeah.
That's one of those things here in Canada where it's like, even though we have, health care covered. Like most people, like dental insurance is not covered under our health stuff. So like that's the time where it's like, if I like when I had to have some teeth removed as an example, it's just like, well, I'm paying out of pocket for a lot of that stuff because that's just how that is. So yeah, I understand like that the cost associated with that. So I'm very thankful to hear, Garrett, that it was just food.
Yeah.
and that everything's okay.
And now we're brushing her teeth like every day to make sure, her teeth are pretty good. But even at that, we're going to get insurance to, if anything else happens, to cover it up. So there you go. That's my vet story. That's a warning for all y'all.
Yeah. But it had a good ending at least. You call it a bad story, but I'm glad it had a good ending.
Me too. Second thing, Steam Summer Sale. Ryan, have you been diving into this? I don't know are you a big Steam fan? Are you a big PC fan?
No, just because I don't really play a lot of games on PC anymore. That's the thing. Like I just don't. I play all my games pretty much on console now, which is too bad because the Steam Summer Sale has a lot of good sales, and as a console player, I'm jealous.
It's pretty I feel like this one is a pretty strong one compared to the past few sales. There's a lot of, I don't know, different deep discounts. Hold on, let's see what's kind of in my cart right now. There's like some that are like easily
now,
$2 or $3.
While you pull those up, Ron has a comment about you, Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
At Steam Summer Sale, Dr. Bland has yet to purchase any Falcom games, I'm sure.
Oh, I mean, like, I have the basics Falcom games. What do I have?
But Ron's like, you need to own all of them, apparently. That's the thing.
No, absolutely not. If I have not played the first of this series, I don't need the second of the series. I have Trails of Cold Steel and Trails in the Sky. And that's all I need right now. Because I need to go through those before I play other ones.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do actually need to play those eventually. Like that's the idea. Is that before you play games before you go buy other games in the same series. Even though he just chimes in, he's like, you need all of them. Oh my god! I mean, Trails to the Daybreak, the new game, just got its reviews posted, and it's apparently pretty good. So
apparently, it's pretty good. Yeah, everyone's cheering. All the Falcon Bros are going crazy. It's game of the year, game of the JRPG, or whatever.
Game of the JRPG.
Whatever you want to call it. And them Falco Bros just go crazy whenever a new Trails game comes in. But anyways, let's see. I have in my cart, Disco Elysium, $3.60. And then we got Hitman Part 1, $3. Those are the two.
Okay.
They're in my cart right now. But yeah, deep discounts right now. Go check them out. I love Steam's browsing of the games. They do a pretty good job of showcasing prices, genre, like different kind of bubbles and grids and stuff. I like it. So, yeah, there you go. That's my second thing. And I bought some merch from Carpool Gaming. We can get into that.
True. We have our own sale.
For sure. And then third thing, this is Ryan, I promise you, this is the last time I talk about Prey.
Well, because you finally finished it, right?
I finally finished it. Yes. And let me tell you, it's probably my game of the year so far.
But it didn't come out this year.
But I played it this year, and I absolutely adored it, and I enjoyed it. And I was thinking, like, would Ryan like this game? And I'm like, you know what? In certain aspects, you would maybe enjoy it. I don't know, because there is like a certain like diverging path of like you could be super chaotic and powerful, or you could be very more tactical, sneaky, stealthy. It just depends. But yeah, as Ron said, Prey is fantastic. You go through a story. It's very like a first-person sandbox in a space station. Go through different zones, and then you collect these upgrades called neuromods. And those neuromods can give you upgrades, whether it's on the human side or on the Typhon side, the alien side. And that alien side, it can get super powerful. Like you can get, all the powers and abilities the aliens get. Within the game, you go throughout the zone and pick up resources, and those resources you have to take it to a recycling bin, and then you can synthesize your own weapons, your own armor, not armor, your own ammo and tools and stuff like that. So, man, and the story's fantastic. Like through and through, one of the best first-person sim stories I've played. There is definitely choice of what you need to do, and the ending just blew my mind. And I wish there was a Prey 2. I know there's not going to be one because Arcane Austin's out.
Well, even if they weren't, like,
Yeah,
they probably wouldn't have gone back to it because they just didn't sell. Like there just wasn't the interest in it, right?
unfortunately, yeah. But anyways, Prey 2017, go play it. It's so
game.
good.
Not Prey 2006.
Not Prey 2006.
Prey
no.
2017.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Nice.
There's my 3 things. Right.
Well, I'm glad you finally finished it, Garrett, because I know you were playing through it and really enjoying it. So, and now what's next on the docket?
I need to go through Final Fantasy VII. Oh,
You
gee.
sure do.
I haven't started that one yet, but I've been mixing it around. I've been playing Humanity as my daily, Game Pass points system. My daily game point, whatever. And that's good. Have you played Humanity at all?
No, I
Oh, okay. It's a puzzle game, and it's a very nice puzzle game. Basically, you're this dog, this Shibu Inu, that you control all around, but then you have it's endless humans going in a maze, and then you have to give the humans commands like turn, jump, stuff like that throughout the course in order to get the humans from point A to point B. And then there's these gold humans that you can collect as extra objectives within the course. So yeah, it's a good puzzle game. It's like, your typical like, oh, here's a level, try to get all the gold humans in there, so on and so forth. A very minimal design. I like it. It's very, it's just fun, and it's a good puzzle game. So
nice. Sounds like fun. I know a lot of people like that game because it came out last year and it reviewed pretty well. And I remember just everyone I talked to who played that game really enjoyed it. So
yeah. If you enjoy puzzle games like Picross or like anything related to that,
yeah, well, it's made by like the Tetris Effect and the Luminous developers.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Yeah, which makes sense. Also, I have to acknowledge the fact that Yarden in chat says Final Fantasy VII OG. Oof, you got oofed for that, Garrett.
Oof. Well, yeah, I got to go through it.
Yeah, you have to play it eventually. It's been assigned to you, Garrett.
It's been assigned to me.
It's homework. You have to play it eventually. So
On my while I'm watching TV though, I've been playing Trials of Mana.
Oh, nice.
On the Switch. And I think that game's good to like just kind of hack and slash.
Yeah, it's a very chill kind of game.
So, those are the 2 games, and then Hogwarts Legacy. That's kind of the main game I've been playing on Xbox. I've been meaning to go through it for a while now, and man, I absolutely adored the game just because of the lore,
right,
and all the Harry Potter related stuff in there. I geek out.
Yeah. I remember like how excited you were for that game before it came out, and then you just didn't ever ended up playing it.
Yeah, I know. Games just take me for the loop. So yeah, I'm playing it right now. Super good. So
nice. Well, Garrett, we should probably clear the dungeon so we can get to the
so.
raid boss as quickly as possible. 15 minutes in the show. But you know what? It's a Saturday morning. We're doing things different today. That's okay.
For sure.
So, folks at home, if you want to support the show, there's a number of amazing ways you can do that. Number one, if you're watching the live stream right now over at youtube.com/corporalgaming, or if you're watching the video on demand later, do over to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments below why you're excited about Final Fantasy 14 or also why Prey should get a sequel, or whatever you want to talk about in the comments. Let us know. We would love to hear from you. Also, if you're listening on audio feeds, don't forget to, of course, rate us. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or just hitting that subscribe button helps the show go a long way, because, of course, that helps people learn about the RPG Cave and come in, because, again, we've been seeing a lot of people, Garrett. I mentioned this but on another show last week, but a lot of people coming into the RPG Cave community, I've noticed, from the audio feed specifically.
Nice.
We've been having a pretty
Welcome
good
on
influx of new people. So shout out to everyone who, of course, is discovering the show either on Spotify or other audio podcasts. I appreciate y'all. Also, if you want one big podcast feed with the entire Carpool Gaming cinematic universe on it, head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Carpool Gaming. Just like, of course, I forgot to update my notes here because it's changed since the other day, Garrett. We've had more people join. So we've, of course, Samuel Listening, a.k.a. the Captain, who's upgraded to the Platinum tier. So welcome on in the Captain, who is now a Platinum producer. And then Josh Coltier, who joined the exclusive tier. Shout out to Josh as well for getting them exclusives over on Patreon. Next up, Garrett, of course, our website, carpoolgaming.com, where you can get all kinds of exclusive merch, but also until the end of the month, which is very fast approaching because today's the 28th that we're recording this. Of course, the Carpool the Carpool Summer Gaming Fest items are still live until, I believe, July 1st. So you can head on over to carpoolgaming.com, get yourself a cool Summer Bobby mug. You can get yourself this cool tank top. You can get yourself a Poolside Bobby t-shirt, or, of course, just a standard t-shirt with the logo on it.
I did get the Poolside Summer Bobby t-shirt and a new RPG Cave t-shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten one. Actually, my previous RPG Cave shirt got holes in it, so I had to throw it away. But yeah, I got a brand new one, so can't wait.
Nice. So, of course, head on over to our website, carpoolgaming.com, and grab those while they're still in stock. I mean, audio listeners, chances are by the time you hear this, they will probably be gone. But if you, of course, are not doing that, if you're not audio listener, if you're watching on YouTube, check them out. Also, of course, I want to promote our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/carpoolgaming live, because after the show today, Garrett, I will be going over there and continuing my journey through Final Fantasy XIV.
Nice.
Dawn Trail. We're playing Dawn Trail. Day 1 is over at the time we're recording this, but day 2 is today, and we're going for 7 days, Garrett. 7 days of Dawn Trail. So head on over to our
Is
Twitch.
each day 6 hours?
No, each day is actually 8 hours.
8 hours. Okay.
Although today I'll probably cut it a bit short because we're doing the podcast today. So either way, we're gonna be going live at about 2 p.m. Eastern time after the podcast today. So make sure to head on over to Twitch after the show and hang out with me today as I play through the Dawn Trail main campaign. I'm even voicing all the characters, Garrett, and it's fun. So yeah, head on over there.
I guess Dawn Trail is like a whole campaign. Like a whole story.
Oh, it's good. I would imagine that I don't finish the story part because I'm only on the live stream, Garrett. I'm only mainlining the story. So I imagine that I finish mainlining it by Thursday, which is day 6, which puts it into the because I imagine it's going to be about 40 hours to finish the story.
My goodness. This game is... Final Fantasy XIV astonishes me. Like, compared to most MMOs. Like, it's just so big.
Well, it's because it's story based. Because the story is actually a big focus of the game. Because now we're gonna actually have so much content, Garrett. Where if you wanted to start at the beginning and play through the story of all the expansions, including Dawn Trail, I mean, you're gonna be in the ballpark of like the 300 to 400 hour mark of just mainlining the story.
Whew. That sounds intimidating. That sounds more intimidating than Falcom games, to be honest with you.
It kind of is. Like it's starting to get to that point because like it's different with something like World of Warcraft because World of Warcraft, most people aren't in it for the story, so they don't mind just jumping into whatever expansion they jump into. Whereas it's definitely, I think it's becoming increasingly harder for people to jump into Final Fantasy XIV because of because of the way that they kind of structure the story. But the thing is that if someone were to start with this one. Like if they were to boost their character through and not worry about the previous story stuff, this is kind of like the beginning of the new story that's going to happen over the next couple expansions. So it's one of those things where if someone started here, it would probably be fine.
All right then, sounds good.
But either way, I'm playing that a lot over on Twitch, so you don't need to hear me about that. Just go over to Twitch and watch it. But anyways, Garrett, it is now time to read from the sacred texts because we got of course a topic that this was perfectly timed for Monday, or after the Nintendo Direct happened. But of course, it's been a little while since then, since we had to push the back the show a week. But we're still going to talk about it, Garrett, because we're going to talk about the RPGs that were at this summer's Nintendo Direct. And then after that, we are going to crown a predictions champion, Garrett. Who, pray tell, was the champion of our predictions show? We will find out as well. And of course, we'll be hearing from the NPCs after that. So that is the sketch for this week's show, Garrett. So let's dive into it. We're going to kind of go like by RPG of all the RPGs shown at the Nintendo Direct. While there wasn't a ton of RPGs, I think there were some really, really interesting ones here, and ones that are worth talking about. So
definitely.
And I'm kind of doing them in the order they were shown in the show, except for one that I saved for the very end. So,
okay.
The first one, of course, the one that kicked off the show, was Mario and Luigi Brothership. This is coming out on November 7th. And Garrett, when I saw this, I was just like, what? Mario and Luigi's back? Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought this series was dead. Because, like, when they closed Alpha Dream, I thought that was the point of closing Alpha Dream, was that there weren't going to be Mario and Luigi games anymore. But it turns out that I guess this game was in development while they closed Alpha Dream, and they moved Alpha Dream employees to another division inside Nintendo, of which we don't know, because of course they did that thing where people asked Nintendo who's developing this game, and they're like, you'll find out when you watch the credits.
My goodness.
But they did confirm that Alpha Dream members who were, part of that team are part of that whatever team is developing this game. But what did you think about this trailer, man?
Well, I was surprised as you, Ryan, to see another Mario and Luigi game in the series. When I was looking at that art style, like the first 10 seconds before they revealed anything, I'm like, that's Mario and Luigi. Like, it has that certain style of Mario and Luigi character design that's unforgivable. I'm like, wow, that looks exactly like that. So when I was going through and watching this trailer, I was kind of amazed how much of a step up it is with the game. It's more of a 3D space. And then like the combat and animations look really smooth. It looks like the Mario and Luigi we come to know and love in the battle system, and the story and the writing. Dude, this is like a day one purchase for me, easily.
Nice.
It looks so good. As you mentioned before, Alpha Dream being gone because, well, they declared bankruptcy because of lack of sales. I think Alpha Dream was in the U.S. It was based somewhere in there, right?
I'm actually pretty sure that's the case. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm curious how many people they were able to bring over to another studio to do this kind of development. Right. Oh wait.
Yeah, I was also going to say that the rumor is that
I'm sorry, Alpha Dream is a Japanese one. I don't know why I'm thinking it was based in the US. It was based in Tokyo.
Okay. Because I was going to say the rumor is that people think that the developer of this is the same developer that did Pokemon Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl.
Yeah, ILCA. That's the company. They did a lot of support for other Nintendo games as well.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting to see who actually made this game. Oh yeah, they helped develop One Piece Odyssey as well.
Oh, that's right. That's the other game they did. And One Piece Odyssey, it had its problems, but it was actually a pretty good game.
Yeah, it probably One Piece fans were in love. People who are turn-based fans, but also One Piece fans, they definitely probably love that game.
That's a narrow niche, but those people are out there. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Even I give it a chance, and I don't even like One Piece, but I liked the combat. I thought it was actually really unique in that game. So.
So I'm curious how this game will shake up, for sure. But from the trailer, it looks like Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
It just kind of the Switch version. It's really a step up compared to the 3DS and DS version.
Well, it's funny you said that, Garrett, because when we because likewise, I had the same reaction as you watching it, whereas like we did our live reactions to the Nintendo Direct on the channel, which by the way, you can go watch because, of course, shout out to Seth Sturgill, by the way, who went back and grabbed all of our archives from all of the Summer Game Fest reactions, time coded them and threw them all on the YouTube site. And I know that was like a huge amount of work for Seth. So shout out to Seth for doing that. So people can go watch our reactions now. But like I called that within the first like 5 or 10 seconds because you're right. Like the animation style, like it looks like the covers of like the Mario and Luigi games, like on like the box art even. Like that's the feeling I got from it. And I know like some people don't love that art style. Like I heard that after, like heard those comments after we had the kind of the discourse from the Direct. But like, I don't know, man. I thought like it looked really good. Like again, it looked like what I would imagine a home console version of the Mario and Luigi's games to look like. Because this is also the first time the Mario and Luigi games have been on consoles. They've always been portables. Like it's always been a portable series. So it's cool to finally seeing them, do a home console version. And because of that, they're playing with the extra space because it is more of like a 3D adventure, kind of like you talked about, Garrett. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one too. I think it looks really, really good. Yarden chimes in though and wants to know, do you like the title for this game? Brothership.
It's a weird one. Let me
it's
tell
like
you.
Mothership, Garrett, but it's Brothership.
Yeah, it's like, okay, they're brothers and they're describing their brothership.
Well,
like
no.
friendship.
So Garrett, I don't know if you saw this in the trailer, but they're like driving around this ship called the Brothership, and it kind of looks like a pirate ship.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's on the thumbnail for this of this episode.
Okay.
But yes, so that because it kind of looks like a pirate ship almost, but they're driving it around, and I guess they found this ship somewhere and it's called the Brothership. I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense.
You know what? Good for them. I'm just more interested in playing the game. It's a new Mario and Luigi game.
Same.
I've been intermittently playing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions on 3DS. It's such a cute game. It's so well made. So yeah, if it's just more of that Mario and Luigi character and flair and combat and cute writing, I'm all for it. Looks good.
Also, what's also interesting about this, first of all, it's the first brand new Mario and Luigi game since I think Paper Jam was the last original one.
Right.
So,
yeah, because the other ones were
time
remakes. In 3DS like remakes, like there was Bowser's Inside Story, and then Superstar Saga. But yeah, Paper Jam's the latest one. I guess the latest and newest one.
Yeah, that was like over 10, like more than 10 years ago was the last one.
Yeah,
so
it's been a while.
It's been a long time since a brand new Paper Mario, I keep saying Paper Mario, but brand new Mario and Luigi game is out. But also, we've officially, Garrett, we've completed the triangle strategy of Mario role-playing games. Because, of course, we got Mario RPG, we got Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door, and now we're getting Mario and Luigi Brothership. So 3 Mario RPGs back to back to back in the span of literally a year. Because Mario RPG, the remake, came out last November, and then this is coming out this November. So all 3 of those within a year, like within 12 months of each other.
Yeah, and they may have seen the metrics like, hey, RPGs back in the swing of things. It's huge on the Switch platform. We got these Mario RPG games. Let's see if we can, add some into the collection. And maybe they just found another project that just made sense for a studio. And it's like, hey, try this out. And transfer some Alpha Dream employees over. It just makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, so Mario and Luigi Brothership, very, very, very excited about it, of course. But we're going to pause for a second here. Everything okay, Garrett?
Sorry, the dog's barking.
I know, I heard it. It's all good. Okay. So yeah, Mario and Luigi Brothership sounds awesome, looks awesome. I am much excited for it. But next up, I wanted to move on to a game that I know Garrett probably doesn't have too much to say about it, but I wanted to at least give it its due here because, I haven't heard too many people talk about this game because we got this was announced in a very brief highlight, but no, like that's it. Like there has been no other information really that came out about it. But Fairy Tale 2 coming out winter 2024. This is, in fact, a sequel to Fairy Tale, the turn-based role-playing game from Gust over at Namco. That came out. That came out in 2016. So it's been a long time since we got the Fairy Tale role-playing game. But it's a turn-based role-playing game in the Fairy Tale universe, telling the story of the Fairy Tale TV show. And it basically is going to pick up where the last Fairy Tale game left off, which was at the end of kind of the Grand Magic Games saga, which is kind of like in the middle of the Fairy Tale anime series. But I'm really excited about this one, Garrett, because the last Fairy Tale game was really, really good. Like we talked about it before when talking about the Atelier series, but like I haven't really delved too much into the Atelier games, but like the Fairy Tale game made me really want to, because of how it was put together. The current turn-based combat was super fun. It looked good. The voice acting was good, and of course it was like a really good retelling of Fairy Tale. So even people who weren't really into Fairy Tale or didn't know too much of the story, like it did a good job of retelling that story, which I think was good. And yeah, it was just a really solid game. And I think Fairy Tale 2 looks like it's going to be pretty good as well. So I am actually really excited about this. We don't have a release date. It's just coming out this winter. But I know both myself and Fulia over on the PlayStation Drive, we're both pretty excited about this one.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yes,
it looks good. I'm just not a big Fairy Tale person or fan or whatever. But
not only that, but this is also the type of game, too, where either you have to have watched the TV show.
I think so.
Or you have to have at least played the first game. But to understand where the story's at with this one.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
Exactly. Cool. This kind of reminds me if they ever did like a One Piece Odyssey 2 as well. It's just like, well, it would be like for One Piece Odyssey fans, essentially.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yarden says, oh, it's like Atelier. The crafting must be amazing, Garrett. It's not. There's like no crafting in this game. Like that's, it's basically as if they had an Atelier game, but instead of making it, like crafting and alchemy based, it's more focused on the combat. Like that's more for the focus of the Fairy Tale games. But yeah, so look out for that this winter. I am much excited about it, and I'm sure I'll be talking about it more on the show later on this year, because I don't know if I'm day one on this one, because there is a lot of games coming out this winter. But like I should be playing it at least early next year, if not this winter. But
cool.
Moving on.
I guess you're a big Fairy Tale fan.
I'm not a huge Fairy Tale fan, but again, I like Fairy Tale enough that I like the first game, and I know that this game is probably going to be good.
Cool.
Just from the pedigree, so that's what gets me excited. Is like, even though I'm not like Fairy Tale is not like one of my top 10 animators or anything, but I like it. So cool. I'm excited to play more of it. But and it's also supposed to wrap the story too. They talked about that as well, where it's going to go from where they left off to the end of the series, essentially. So. Next up, we got a surprising announcement, Garrett. Well, I should say we knew that this one was kind of coming because it was imminent. It got rated a bajillion times by different ratings boards, but the surprising announcement was who's publishing this game, Garrett. So
it's true.
Fantasia Neo Dimension coming this holiday, 2024. So it is making the leap from Apple Arcade to home consoles. This is coming out on pretty much everything, including Xbox. But what's interesting about this, Garrett, is that Square Enix is publishing this game.
Yeah.
Which is weird because of everything that happened with Sakaguchi leaving Square and it being like a big whole hubbub when he left Square, and they're publishing his next game. It's so weird.
Yeah, no, it's super weird to hear that they partnered with Square Enix and they're publishing it. Okay, sure. But whatever works for them, I'm just glad this game is able to come to consoles. It's like, it was a no-brainer. Like, did Apple like pay for this game to fund this game?
They paid for it to be exclusive.
Yeah, it's just no one was gonna play that in Apple Arcade. Like, very few people did, and from the people I've heard that play this game, it's like, I'm tired of playing it on my phone. I'd rather play it on a controller. So yeah, I'm glad it's making the leap, and I'm glad Square Enix is like, hey, let's just do this. Let's just partner up, and we'll do the publishing for this. So super
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. Like even though it's weird, you're right. I'm very glad that this is coming to consoles because this is a game I've wanted to play for a very long time. But I was, and let's be real, I was never subscribing to Apple Arcade to play this game.
Yeah,
That
no.
was just never going to happen because I don't have an Apple TV, and I'm not hooking up a controller to my phone to play, a game on my phone. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, and it's just like this one single player RPG. It's just like, why do you put that on a phone? Like,
Well, I mean, I get the thought process because the thought process there is that, you can play it as you go because it's a role playing game, and I know people like I'm not one of these people, but I know a lot of people like to play their RPGs portably rather than playing them on their home consoles. So I think that's the thought process. Plus, with Japanese role playing games being popular in Japan, obviously in Japan the most popular console is in fact not a console; it's your phone. So I think those kind of contributed to why this move made sense for them at the time. Plus, I would imagine the bag that they got from Apple to make this
Was pretty
exclusive
big.
was probably pretty good. So, especially because like Apple Arcade, you don't buy games on it; it's
No,
a
you just
subscription
subscribe.
service. So they had to be paid like a pretty good amount of money, I think, to probably keep this on the service. They might even had it in a contract and paid yearly to keep the game on it until the exclusivity time ran out. So
cool. Well, I'm glad it's coming out. Do we know the price for this? Actually,
I don't know.
I
I
wonder
don't think
it's-
it's up for pre-order yet. 'Cause
okay.
I think the release date is still kind of TBD. And I know Square when they kind of have games coming out, they usually don't post them for pre-order or post the prices until they announce the release date.
Got it.
Like the
Okay.
same thing happened with Visions of Mana. Like we didn't know how much it actually cost until they announced the release date for it.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, because I'm doing this quick scroll on my phone. I'm looking at it. I'm not seeing it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. So
Yeah.
okay.
Either way, I'm excited to play it though. It looks like it's going to be pretty awesome on consoles.
And there's gonna be extra like DLC or
Yeah, there's
extra
extra content of some kind.
Yeah.
We just don't know too much about what that's going to be.
Right.
So, hence the Neo Dimension name on the name.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
cool. Well, next up, Garrett, we saw the most NIS looking game I've ever seen in my entire life. This is Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. This is coming out in 2025. This is another game in the Phantom Brave series, and I don't think either of us have really played a Phantom Brave game.
No, we haven't.
But
So,
this looks more like NIS at work with this one. I think it looks
sure.
fun, but like I'm not really super excited about this one. But I wanted to at least mention it and acknowledge that it was there.
yeah, it's been a while since a previous Phantom Brave game. So
Yeah, because they've done a bunch of re-releases of the Phantom Brave games, but it's been a long time since they've done a new one.
yeah, so it's an unconventional strategy RPG that features free movement on a gridless map with
Yeah.
over 50 characters and 300 skills to master. That's their
Yeah.
pitch. So
Like the idea, Garrett, is think of Disgaea, but no grid.
I'm okay with this. I'm kind of okay with this, and it's coming out next year, so
Yeah.
it'll be a while
Yeah.
before we see any more details. But it looks good to me.
Yeah, like again, it looks very much like an NIS game, and I know that they've got a really dedicated fan base. But also, if you've played an NIS game before, you probably know what you're in for with a game like that.
Coming to Switch, PS4, PS5, and they say Steam is later.
Yeah,
No Xbox.
they tend that is again the NIS MMO because they usually
Yeah,
always
that's
skip
true.
Xbox and PC for the releases of their PC games. They usually come later. So
Cool.
I'm amazed it's coming to Switch and PlayStation though, because they've been doing the thing lately where they've been releasing like the Disgaea games as an example on
Switch first.
Switch first, and then PlayStation, and then PC, in a weird order. So I'm glad that they're at least kind of having them come to both at the same time. But I mean, I'm interested to see how this game runs on the Switch because they unfortunately have a track record of their recent games where they do not run well on Switch, but they run great on PlayStation and PC. So.
Cool.
We'll see what happens with this one in the year. But this game, Garrett, is coming out the same year as the Switch 2. So there you
That's
go.
true.
But next up, Garrett's favorite RPG series of all
my
time.
goodness.
The Saga series has a new game, Garrett. Congratulations. It's happening.
I can't wait.
But this is actually a remake. This is Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. This is coming out October 24th, and this will actually mark the second Saga game this year, Garrett. So two Saga games this year from Square.
Surprisingly.
But the thing is, Garrett, I actually like Romancing Saga 2. I actually think it's a really good game. I played it on the Super Famicom. In fact, I played it on Extra Life during Extra Life a few years ago because they re-released this game on Xbox as well as other platforms. But I played it on Xbox at the time. And actually had a good time with it. Like, it's actually a pretty good, like, turn-based role-playing game in kind of the Super Nintendo era. And it's just one that a lot of people didn't play because this game originally didn't release in North America. It wasn't until they did like the re-release that they added translation for this game and actually made it like a North American game. So I'm interested to see how this turns out because first of all, I have a lot more faith in this one than the
Emerald
Dream.
one.
Yeah, the one that came out earlier this year. From what we saw in kind of the trailer at the Nintendo Direct, like this game actually looked like it might actually be pretty good.
It looks, I have to admit, Ryan, it looks good. Yeah. This one genuinely looked like a very good RPG. So I'll be on the lookout for that. But,
and they're keeping it turn-based as well. Like they're
cool.
not doing the Final Fantasy VII remake thing where they're switching it to action or anything like that. No, it's still turn-based. You still like pick from kind of 8 characters at the beginning to form your 4-person party throughout the story. But then depending on how you form your story, form your party, the story changes in interesting ways. So yeah, like I think that there's like hope that this game is actually going to be pretty good, which is good because like, again, we've gotten a lot of Saga releases as we kind of alluded to over the last few years, and they've all kind of been like very middling. So I'm hoping that this is kind of the kickstart this series really needs. But also it's just like Square really loves the series, Garrett, or something, because like, remember they canceled a whole bunch of these other re-releases of games that they did, but they kept this one. So like there's something about Saga, I feel like there's some potential with this series that we maybe don't understand.
Yeah, you're right. 2 Romancing Saga games coming out this year is like, really, like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that popular. Well, but maybe it's more popular in Japan than we realize. But yeah, no, it looks good. And I think what really caught my eye is the combat of this game. It is like more of a action, like it's turn-based, but it's on a action based, like real time. You'll see like a grid bar at the top, like which player is like which turn order. And
that was actually in the original game though, Garrett.
I know, but I'm just saying it's really grabbing my interest, like seeing that in more of a refreshing, like kind of, I don't know, like art style and modernizing the mechanics or whatever. And it's also grid based, which was kind of interesting as well. Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested in this game. I want to see more gameplay for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I obviously I don't think I'm day one on it, but like I'll wait for reviews to come out and then I'll make up my mind. But like I think this game could actually be pretty good. So I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that it's awesome. But speaking of Square Enix remakes, Garrett, the final game I wanted to touch on, or games I should say, is Dragon Quest III HD finally has a release date. It's coming out November 14th. We've been waiting for this one for a few years now, where they announced it. They said literally nothing for 2 years, and then they came back, and then we have the release date and everything else, and it's coming up very soon. And it looks great because like I remember when they showed it before, and we were already impressed with it the first time they showed it. But then they showed it here at the Nintendo Direct, and I think it looks way better than when they first showed this game. Like this, and it already was an impressive looking game already. Like I think, like this is the one out of all the ones here that we saw at the showcase. I think of all the games we saw here, I think this is the one I'm for sure day one on is Dragon Quest III HD. Like this game looks fantastic. It's in the 2D art style, and it looks like it's gonna be the live of this year. I think. In a lot of ways, where I think a lot of people are not going to jump into it right away, but it's going to sneak up on people because this is going to be sneakily like a really well reviewed and well regarded game in the future. Like I'm pretty excited about this game though, Garrett. But what did you think about it?
No, I'm totally with you. It looks gorgeous. And it has that, as you said, it's more of a live alive kind of remake in a sense that I think like the background, it's a little bit more 2D, a little more simple, like no, I wouldn't say simplified, but it has that pixelated kind of, I don't know, art like set piece in the background and the characters compared to, let's say, Octopath Traveler. I think it has a little bit more modernizing look. But yeah, no, this one looks absolutely fantastic. I think it would be a good start for a lot of people if they haven't gone into the Dragon Quest series. I know Dragon Quest 11 is beloved by many people, but it also takes 80 to 90 hours to beat the game, and this one seems a little bit more digestible. It could be like, I don't know, 30 to 40 hour experience.
It depends on how much they add. Because, like, I think the original game, I think it was in the 20 to 30 hour mark. So it's just like, if they add a ton more, like if they add more content, then I think it'll increase it. I mean, it might make it balloon a little bit as far as in size. But you're right. Like, I think this is a great entry for new people to Dragon Quest, especially because, like, I know the number 3 seems off-putting to people. But Dragon Quest 3 is the earliest game in the Dragon Quest series. Yeah. And it's the game that the Dragon Quest director is just like, yeah, if you're ever going to play the Dragon Quest games from scratch, you should play 3 first and then 1 and 2. Because it then sets up the story for 1 and 2.
Yeah, it is chronologically a prequel, and it's the beginning of the Erickson trilogy. Yeah. Which is, so you play 3 and then you go followed by 1 and 2. So, yeah. I'm very much looking forward to this game, Ryan. This seems like a Octopath Traveler Live Live type of great 2D HD RPG that I'll certainly dig into.
Yeah. So November 14th, I know, again, this holidays are going to be busy, but like this is what so like busy. I am like very much in on. The best part is, Garrett, we still are missing release dates for a bunch of big games too, like Dragon Age and some other stuff. So it's just like, I don't even know where a lot of the time is going to come for a lot of these games. But
when is Metaphor ReFantazio again?
I think it's the end of October.
October 11th.
Oh,
so
beginning of October.
Maybe
that's like the week after Silent Hill, and I'm just like, oh no, what am I going to do?
We got a month. I want to play Call of Duty as well. End of the month.
At least the Call of Duty campaign will be short.
Yeah, that's true. But it's been a while since I played COD. Maybe like, oh man, it's been easily 10 years since I've really gotten into Call of Duty, but I was so into it, and that's why I kind of stray away from it, because I want to just diversify my just like video games in general. But it's coming to Game Pass. I think I'll get into the campaign, but I also think I'll get into the multiplayer.
Okay, nice.
Quite a bit. So
that's awesome. I know a bunch of us are going to be playing it, so you'll have no shortage of people to play with if you want to play multiplayer with us.
Nice, cool. But yeah, Dragon Quest 3 HD. It's an easy day one for me.
Like this was like the biggest slam dunk from the showcase. Like besides Mario and Luigi, because I also think that is a big slam dunk too.
Oh man, and those two are like a week apart.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Yeah. But I think the argument is that Dragon Quest 3 HD is coming to other platforms too, because it's not just on Switch. So it's basically on everything. I think I'll
get it on Steam.
Yeah. But yeah, literally coming to everything. But then, after this announcement, Garrett, we also got the announcement that Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD are in development, and they're coming out next year as a double pack.
Cool.
So
that's an interesting choice. Yeah, I don't know if they were going to be able to flesh it out and separate the two. I don't know how big in scope these projects are, or the original games.
So I was going to say the original games are both shorter than Dragon Quest 3.
Okay, so it kind of makes sense. Like, hey, this game was less than 20 hours, maybe 10 hours, or
yeah. I think the first one in particular, if I remember from when I did my first playthrough of it, it was like 10 to 12 hours. I think it took to beat it.
Yeah, maybe they were just thinking of that as like, hey, these are two shorter RPGs. Let's just put them together and let it be done with that. So cool. I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, exactly. I just love that we're gonna get the whole Erdrick trilogy redone in this style, and I'm curious to know where the future of HD2D goes next after Dragon Quest.
Me too.
To know what
the cover art for these games.
Yeah.
like I say I want it on Steam, but man, I would like a physical copy because that art style just looks incredible.
Yeah.
Just the cover art, the I don't know who that is. I guess the main character,
Yeah,
Edric or whatever. But just looking out in the distance has that. I mean, Triangle Strategy and also Octopath Traveler has those similar art styles. The Tactics Ogre, the remake has a similar art style. I enjoy those very much.
And actually, like when they announced that 1 and 2 were coming, they then expanded the artwork out to then show the protagonists from 1 and 2. And I imagine that's going to be the cover for 1 and 2 as well when that comes out next year. So
I'm curious. Eventually, they're gonna put all 3 into one.
In like a bundle or something,
In
I
a
would
bundle.
imagine they do that. Yeah, they just
Switch 2.
I think they just wanted to get this one out first, so people don't make the mistake of playing through 3 last because it's got 3 in the title. I think that's why they did it this way.
Let me see. Okay, it is $60. So
Yeah.
cool. It's a full game.
Yeah, it's a full game. So yeah, I'm excited. Dragon Quest. I know like we've talked about it on the show before, Garrett, how we're not like the biggest Dragon Quest fans, but like I don't know, man. That's what actually gets me very excited, and I'm interested. I'm really, really excited about these in a way that I haven't really been about any Dragon Quest game in years.
It makes me more curious about the future of the series too. With Dragon Quest 12, we haven't heard a peep out of that, and we know it's gonna be a little different than what we've seen before with all the Dragon Quest games. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out more maybe next year or the year after. So
I even think there's a possibility that game ends up not even being on this console generation. Like
Easily.
or it might be like a cross-gen game with like the new Xbox in 2026 at this point. I mean, for God's sakes, Garrett, that could be a PS7 game or PS6 game, I should say.
Yeah.
But,
So I'm curious.
cool. Well, Garrett, now it's that time of the show where, of course, we have to crown a predictions champion. Of course, we did Summer Game Fest / Nintendo Direct predictions for RPGs. So we're gonna go through our predictions to see who won this year, Garrett. Any predictions on who the predictions champ was?
I think I am.
You think you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was partially correct on one thing, and I think I'm just holding for dear life that I
Well,
that's all it needs.
let's see if you were partially correct about one thing, Garrett. Because first off,
Okay.
Borderlands 4 is announced. It's coming later this year. 0 points.
That was a heartbreak, man.
Yeah.
Because they really hinted at, there's going to be a big 2K game.
There was
Yeah,
Civilization 7.
I know. There's a big one in the Summer Games Fest. I was holding for Borderlands 4, though, but makes
No,
sense.
we all thought it was Borderlands 4 because the movie's coming out. Like, of course
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, it was that, and there was some leakers, like, they were trying to really talk it up, too. It's like, Borderlands 4 is going to totally be there, but nope, not yet.
it was not, I'm afraid. All right, next up, your next prediction, Garrett, was split into a thing. This was your Square Enix mega bundle where you said 3 of these 4 things will be announced.
Okay, yeah.
And you get no points unless 3 of 4 of these were announced.
Okay.
So, Final Fantasy 16 announced for Xbox and PC coming in early October. Now, I'd also prefaced during the show that, of course, the PC version was already announced, but you were talking about the release date was going to be there. Obviously, that didn't happen, so no points.
Nope.
Octopath Traveler 2 comes out later this year and is not on Game Pass. So,
Oh, dang.
Octopath
Yeah.
Traveler 2 was shadow dropped and was not even announced, and it came to Game Pass.
So weird.
So,
But yeah.
literally the opposite of what you said.
Yes.
Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters are announced for Xbox. And then waves of pre-existing Square Enix games are coming to Game Pass. Star Ocean: The Divine Force, Harvestella, and Dragon Quest Monsters. None of these were true.
None of these
I
were
guess
true.
Octopath Traveler was kind of partially true, but even then,
No.
you still get no
it's-
points because you said 3 of 4.
Exactly. And it was shadow dropped, and it's coming to Game Pass. I was like,
Yeah.
totally off.
Actually, the safer bet would have just been to say it's going to be shadow dropped and it's going to be there. Like, I was thinking that too, and then your last prediction, Garrett. The Witcher Remastered will debut and will be shown at the Xbox Showcase. A 2025 release date is given.
Yeah. No. I 0. I have like negative points. Never mind.
Goose egg. You got the goose egg, Garrett.
You win, Ryan.
Oh, well, hold on.
Okay.
We'll see how
Did
good I do.
you get negative points?
Let's find out. So, as for me, at the Xbox Showcase, Bandai Namco will announce the next game in the Tales franchise.
Oh, man.
That didn't happen, so 0 points. But they did actually confirm after the show. Oh, by the way, a new Tales game is in development, and we'll tell you about it soon. So I still think that's coming within the next year. That announcement is coming very soon. So next up, Konami will announce the release date for the Smokin collection is coming out on September 24th. No, 0 points.
Man,
I still don't know what's going on with that collection, Garrett.
It's in my Fantasy Critic draft, and I cannot drop it because it still says will release in 2024, and we have a limited drops of will release games.
Oh my god!
And it's killing me.
I am so sorry.
I need them to say a delay. I need them to just say something.
But it's Konami. They're not going to just say that. They're just going to pretend like this game doesn't exist until they're ready to announce the release date.
Until 2026.
Yeah, that is going to... at this rate, maybe. I don't know.
So weird.
Yeah, I mean, there is still the second chance, Garrett, that... Because Xbox is having their showcase at Gamescom. They said they have a bunch of stuff to announce. So that they just didn't announce at their showcase. So, I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Probably not, though. Probably not. And then my final prediction, Garrett. A Lunar Remaster / Remakes collection will be announced for 2024 on consoles. 0 points. So guess what, Garrett? We tied. We tied this year, both with no points. So, we're bad at predictions.
We are fantastic at predictions.
No, but it's one of those things, too, on the episode. We both talked about it, but it's like, RPGs are just so hard to predict for. Like, you're trying to, we have to kind of have to swing for the fences with some of this stuff. But, better luck next time, as the kids might say.
Man, no Witcher really sucks. I was really thinking that could be a real possibility. But
no Tales game really sucks too, because
they even promise it's in development.
Yeah.
But not ready to be shown yet, I guess.
Nope. So we'll eventually see that game at some point, but not today, my friends. Not today. All right, Garrett, it's now time to party up. Let's hear from the NPCs, the non-podcast characters, of course. Friends, if you would like to have your questions read on the show, the way to do so is to head on over to our free Discord. It's free to join. The link is in the description of this video, or if you're listening on audio feeds, click the link in the description of the podcast, and it'll let you just join the Discord. Everyone is available to join. Of course, it's free. Starting with the good sir, who said, "Hello, fellow adventurers. How excited / surprised were you to see a new Mario and Luigi game coming out? Personally, I thought the series was dead after Alpha Dream was closed. That said, I am very excited to jump back in the series. Superstar Saga was a top 3 Mario RPG for me, and I'm hoping we can get back to the level close to what we saw with the humor and mechanics. Unfortunately, the Paper Mario series has moved away from this and from what I enjoy with the Mario RPG series over the years, and I'm really hoping that this series comes back." Thoughts. So first off, the good sir wants to know, do we think the Mario RPG series comes back at all? Because personally, I don't think so. Like Mario RPG in like the style of Mario RPG with those characters in that world, I just don't think they ever go back to it again. I think that was a one and done with the remake. But what do you think?
No, I agree. I think that was a one and done deal, and I think they were really just showing like, hey, are people having interest with these RPG mechanics that we can leverage into a Mario and Luigi game? I think that's more of it. And I mean, as he mentioned, Paper Mario is kind of straying away from this type of RPG mechanics and doing all crazy different stuff. So I think, they're kind of diverging at this point. One series, Paper Mario, gonna do some different mechanics that's diverging away. But Mario and Luigi, well, this new game, definitely in the Mario and Luigi series, but also a lot of that mechanics stemming from Mario RPG. And they're just going to keep with that, I think. That's what I think.
So because I think like what the future of Mario RPGs looks like, now that we know that, because we speculated about this a little bit when we did our Mario RPGs episode earlier in the year, but like, I think the future is Paper Mario is going to continue to be Paper Mario, where it's going to do something weird and different with every single game. It's not going to be a role playing game, even though Thousand Year Door I think is selling well. Like I don't think that's going to change the course of Paper Mario. I think Mario RPG is a one and done, and I don't think they go back to it. But I do think as long as this game doesn't totally tank, I think the Mario and Luigi series is just going to be back as like the Mario RPG series going forward. I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's going to be one of those slow cooking kind of games. It's going to be like Metroid, where it's going to be once every maybe 2 games in a console generation.
Yeah.
Like that type of slow moving. But, it kind of makes sense with the Mario and Luigi games. I think Alpha Dream was doing too many, heavily investing and relying on 3DS. At the time, because they were really making those remakes late in the 3DS cycle, and with the Switch coming up, and it was basically overshadowing those sales. So they're like, okay, let's go back and figure out what's the value of this series. Yeah. Let's see what studio makes sense to develop this, and they just found the right fit with some previous Alpha Dream employees transferring over to the supporting studio that can start this back up.
Yep.
I think it was just timing of it and the resources. It's like, yeah, this project makes sense. Let's go for it. So.
And I also think it's telling too that this is the series that gets the new game, because Paper Mario of course got a remake, and then Mario RPG is a remake. So it's just like it's very telling that this is the series that isn't a remake. When it's returning, it's a brand new game.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
So it makes sense going forward that, like, don't get me wrong, it's possible that we might get more, Mario RPG remakes. Like maybe they go back to the original Paper Mario even and do an original Paper Mario remake, or like if they remake maybe more Mario and Luigi games. But I think that this is kind of like their go-to series going forward for role-playing games.
For sure.
Well, next up, Kyle, of course, chimes in with a comment more about Mario and Luigi, saying, "Are y'all planning to play Mario and Luigi Brothership? Anything you're hoping to see from it? Hopefully they keep the same humor, and I hope that they were able to keep Yoko Shimura again on the soundtrack. I'm mostly just ecstatic that they're reviving the series at all." Yeah, like I think we both talked about it. I think we're both pretty excited about this game going forward.
For sure. If it's not day one because of other games surrounding it, it's very close.
Exactly. Yeah. Same for me. Like, especially just knowing that Dragon Quest III HD comes out a week later, like that might be the only thing that keeps me from buying this day one. But like, I'm still pretty excited about playing it. And I it's definitely like on my to play list for like at least the 6 months after it comes out. But because it's different, because like, I don't know. I just wasn't super excited for either Mario RPG remake or Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, because I already have those games. But like this, like the idea of a brand new game just actually gets me more excited, I think.
And y'all, people, like, if you have a 3DS, go check out the other games. I know they're probably getting more and more expensive, but I'm sure you can go to a GameStop or something, a used game store. They're still kind of I think they're like $20 or $30 a piece still now. The Bowser's Inside Story is very good, and then also Superstar Saga, what I'm playing right now, very good as well. So like and it looks like this game is just like take that 2D kind of pixelated art you see from those games and just blow it up in a 3D space, give fresh coat of paint. And then, if they just have the same writing in Mario and Luigi RPG mechanics, it's a done deal. It's going to be a great game. So
yeah, I think so too. So there you go, Crocodile. Next up, Skycatcher asks, "My daughter is interested in the new Phantom Brave game. Have either of you played the first one? Is it worth picking up?" That's the thing. We as we talked about with Phantom Brave, I don't think either of us are really Phantom Brave people. Like we never really played it. So
it's like the last one came out years ago, I would say, and we just never even paid attention to it at all. So
well, not only that, but it did get a re-release on Switch, so it is available on other platforms. But again, this is one of those things where it's just like it's a series that I've never really gotten into, but I've also like I admittedly, Garrett, have kind of fallen off the Disgaea series a little bit, and I'm just not playing as much stuff from NIS now. So I think that plays a little bit of a part into why maybe I'm not super excited about it.
Well, there's only one. It looks like there's only one previous Phantom Brave game, at least one I'm looking here, and it came out 2004,
right,
on the PS2, and then it got transferred over to Wii, PlayStation Portable.
I think that's why I'm always thinking that there's like a bunch of Phantom Brave games, but it's just the first one, just basically.
Yeah, it's just the first one, kind of. Yeah, so as you said, it got re-released 3 years ago on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you ever catch that one on sale, it's on Steam, it's on Switch.
Yeah. Give it a try.
Give it a try. I think it goes on sale pretty frequently whenever I'm sure in the Steam summer sale.
Yeah.
Phantom Brave is. I wonder if
especially like if your daughter is interested in Skycatcher and like you don't know if you should invest in a full price game that's coming out next year, like definitely play the original one because it's it'll be cheaper to jump into.
A Phantom Brave PC is on sale for $4 right now.
See, just go grab that and have her give that a try, and then you'll know if whether or not you should be excited about the next one. Because
this seems more. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of briefly looking.
Okay.
It looks grid based to me, so it might be no. It looks free range. Never mind.
Yeah, it's. I remember it being like open space a little bit.
But yeah, definitely a Disgaea game.
That's what I mean. Like it very much pulls from the Disgaea lineage. So it's just like that's likewise. I feel confident that if your daughter plays the first one, she then and wants more of that. Then she'll probably like this one because they're going to be probably mechanically very similar.
And there's a demo on Steam as well. Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's on Switch too. Like you could just play the demo of this.
Yeah.
Before you even getting into it. So cool.
Nice. All right. Next up, we got Naga Chocolate asks, will Nintendo do the right thing, which is releasing a Mario and Luigi Pro controller and special edition of an OLED Switch to go alongside the release of Brothership? No, because otherwise they probably would have told us about it already.
Yeah, and like I don't think you'll have enough people to really get into those type of versions of the hardware for Mario and Luigi. It's a very niche, even though we'll enjoy it. It's a very niche series, niche genre compared to other. Maybe it's comparable to Metroid, like in terms of just popularity. Maybe Metroid's a little bit bigger.
But I also think they want to make it a bigger series because I think like bringing it to home consoles, I think sets a different set of expectations. And yeah, you're right. Like in a lot of ways, I actually think this move should have happened a long time ago, where they made like I wish they would have done like a console version of Mario Luigi like at some point. But.
And I think they could have. I just think Alpha Dream really relied on 3DS doing this. It's so weird to see that both of those games could have been on Switch.
I'm also just going to throw it out there. Like you and I both know the main problem with Bowser's Inside Story on 3DS wasn't the game itself, because the game itself was really good. The problem was they launched it like 2 years after the Switch was out, because it came out in 2019. So
weird.
That was just doomed to fail from the start. Like that was never going to sell well.
It's like WarioWare Gold or whatever that was.
Or Metroid Samus Returns, Garrett. Which
that one came out in 2017 though.
It came out in 2017, but it released 6 months after the Switch was out, and no one was interested at that time in buying 3DS games.
I played it.
We both played it. I mean, like most normal people, like that game sold like 500,000 copies. Garrett.
Yeah, it was pretty small.
It's one of the lowest selling Metroid games ever. But I think it's actually behind Federation Force in sales.
That's sad because it's a very good game.
Yes, I agree. That's why I'm just like sad, because that also means like no one, like hardly anyone played that game. So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad it's out now, and it's with a developer that makes sense. So
yeah.
But yeah, no hardware. Sorry, Nagachaka.
Yep. And then last question of the show comes to us from Brian Eck, who says, I've never played Dragon Quest before, but after watching the Nintendo Direct, the HD 2D remake trilogy got me excited to play the games, though. Can I start with Dragon Quest 3, or should I play all the games in their release order? We mentioned this earlier in the show, Brian Eck, but yes, you're free to start with Dragon Quest 3. In fact, they intentionally released them in this order on purpose. So you start with 3 and not the other 2.
Yeah.
So there you go. That makes sense for the story. Just play it that way. But I'm glad you're also excited about it, because we here are very excited about Dragon Quest. But Garrett, it is now time, of course, to say goodbye, because this is the end of the show. But before we do that, of course, we need to thank all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on the Xbox Drive and the PlayStation Drive. You can find all of his music over at Purple Monkey Entertainment at the link tree found in the description of this podcast. And also Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes. Once again, links to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the description of our podcast or the description of this video. So please support them, because we love them very much. Our platinum producers, Smokin Joe, The Captain, and Tim Paullin. And our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brian Moore, Brad Reese, Cecily Carrozza, CowboyDangerD, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emilio Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Patrice Mallette, Peje EP, Shane Erickson, Tech Mike, and Tim Aulph. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Of course, if you want to head on over there and choose the tier that's right for you, of course, we got lots of exclusive content over there and awesome stuff. So check out the Patreon. But now, Garrett, plugs go.
You can follow me on Twitter at Blind Explosion. You can also find me in the Discord. I'm reading. I'm watching all of the messages in the RPG Cave. I see you, Ron, with your Falcon bro craziness, your hypeness. I actually did watch a review, and it looks pretty good. Like this Trails Through Daybreak. I was like, oh, okay, that looks pretty decent.
Maybe the Falcon Bros are onto something, Garrett. Who knows?
Maybe they're onto something. I don't know. They say half the games are great and fun, and half the games are like it's good filler, but mostly a waste of time. But you actually need to play it, because to make sense of the later games. That's what they tell me. I also recorded an episode of the Backlog Busters with Ryan, the American Ryan over there. Last week. I don't see it on free feeds, but I think it will come out soon. So I had a good time talking with him. So
look at you branching out, Garrett. I love it. I love it.
It was a good time, for sure. He kept calling you Canadian, Ryan, because we had to differentiate between American and Canadian.
Yeah,
Ryan's here, but anyways, it was a good time for sure.
Nice. Last for me, you can always find me on Twitter or X at Ryan Tiffin. You also find us on X at Carpool Gaming, right here, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming. Of course, later today, over on twitch.tv/Carpool Gaming Live, I, of course, will be streaming Final Fantasy XIV, starting at, 2 p.m. Eastern Time is when I want to do that. Because I want to, I got to edit this podcast and post it and stuff like that. So, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, head on over Twitch, and I'll be playing more of that. And also, you, of course, can find us on podcast services around the globe. So, for Garrett Bland, I'm Ryan Tifford. This has been the 143rd level of the RPG Cave, and we're out.
Bye-bye.